had no identifier. I didn't know who I was.
The identifiers we use to keep ourselves stable are from external things.
Oh, what people say about you?
Yeah, it's not about who you are when you're alone. It's about who you are in terms of everything else around you. Welcome back to another episode of Learn With Us, where we watch YouTube videos that could actually change your day for the better, and then we learn about them with you.
Wow, really good sum up there. Let's go where?
Today we're going to a fun man
Called the internet. Nope.
Oh. His name is Russell Brand.
Yeah.
Pretty much has done it all.
He's really
but like
cool.
his main overarching story is like he searched for happiness all over through drugs, through sex, through fame, and found that none of it was working. So now he's done a podcast and a video series that he does where he just talks to people about what it means to have like a satisfying life.
Ah, that's so cool. Hey, that's what we're trying to look for. So
and today he's talking about loneliness.
Loneliness.
I developed a weird thing which is called a reflected sense of self, and it's a sort of psychological term whereby if you walk into a room and you tell a joke and everyone laughs, you know you're funny because everyone's just laughed. And I think comedians like yourself probably are very susceptible to this as well. But or you walk the length of the Amazon and everyone tells you you're super tough, and then you know that you're super tough. So that's an extreme version of it. But then I went to this island and I was on my own, and there was no camera people, and there was no nothing, and literally I just wanted to be sick on the beach. And I couldn't work out why I was spinning out so much. And latterly, and it took a long time to work this out, I recognized that I had no identifier. I didn't know who I was, and because I was so used to doing things.
That's an interesting one where the identifiers we use to keep ourselves stable are from external things.
Oh, what people say about you?
Yeah, it's not about who you are when you're alone. It's about who you are in terms of everything else around you. And what are you if those external things fall away?
Yeah. And the need to like label yourself, I think, can be problematic, especially if it's based on external things that you need sort of gratification from other people to feel secure.
Because then you also start to do things not from a place of I want to do this, but a place of I think this is what other people want me to do.
So dangerous. So dangerous. Yeah. Leads so many people astray, like myself included, all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's something to continually remind yourself of is, am I doing this because I feel called to do it? Or is there another less passionate reason why I'm doing this?
Manipulate other people's opinion of me in order to know who I was. So I had to literally sit there on the beach and go like, okay, am I the sort of person who do I want to be reliable? Do I want to be flaky and not turn up at stuff? Or do I want to always turn up at stuff? Do I want to be late? Do I want to be honest? Or do I want to cheat on people? And then literally I just I didn't have a pen or a paper, annoyingly, because it was on a desert island naked. But I had to sort of memorize this list of the things that I wanted to be. I was like, no one else is going to make this decision for you, Ed. It's completely up to you as to the human being you are. And that was quite an interesting thing to go through. And I kind of wish I'd done it earlier, actually.
That kind of makes me think of the idea of like coming of age rituals.
Oh,
because imagine if he goes, oh, I wish I had done that earlier. Like, what if when you were younger, you were encouraged to explore internally of what it really means to be you, to be human, and to come to those conclusions on your own? Because if you're making those decisions for yourself, you don't need to worry about the things happening around you. You know what it means for you.
There's a cool coming of age ritual done, or traditionally done, by the Maori of New Zealand. I was able to go to New Zealand like a year ago. Super lucky to be able to do that. But what they would do is the coming of age ritual would involve you being sent out into the woods by yourself to meditate and reflect and survive out there for as long as you needed. And you could not come back until something profound has struck you. Like extremely profound. Like this one person that I met described how either his father or his grandfather went out for like days in the woods, had nothing, comes back and says that what he came to was that there were pine trees that he found, and they all had shallow roots, so they would easily tip over with the wind. But the way that they didn't was they intertwined and interwoven their roots together. And he was like, I recognized that we need to do that as well as a community. We can't be sitting here with our shallow roots by ourselves. We need to bind them together.
Bars.
How amazing is that?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that is...
But instead, we turn 21 and then we can drink alcohol.
Party. Oh gosh, what have we done?
Where have we gone
What
wrong?
have we done with this society?
When we talked before, you said about like that meeting your friends, I think were Australian Aboriginal friends, and that they said like that you go, oh, shut up, I can hear your thinking, and that like the same word that they use for mind, they use for a tangled fishing net, and they also acknowledge the consciousness of the heart and the consciousness of the belly, and like in modern biology or anatomy, it's recognized that there are neurological cells in the gut and neurological cells in the heart. There is a type of thinking, in inverted commas, or at least awareness, that takes place on that level.
Yep. Yep. Oh. Your mind isn't the only thing that's conscious about you. That's a big thing to flip. Is that I feel like this whole last week I've been like all up here.
Yeah.
And that is so disconcerting to me because your whole body needs to be working in tandem. Like people always talk about the mind-body separation. That I feel like that's an illusion.
Oh yeah, no, all of rationality, like stemming from the Greeks and stuff, where they were like, you have mind, spirit, and then you have like body, and then especially when it comes to like the difference in gender and sex, they would say like the man represents the mind and spirit, and the female represents the body, and it's like, bro, what? We all have both, and we all need to learn how the two are completely intertwined.
Yes. Bars.
Understand? He goes, on the most basic level of material reality, there is nothing that is objectively stable and set. The reality of the reality of the quantum world is relational. Things exist in relationship to other things. That's when they become solid, as it were, real. So in a way saying there's no reality at all. Everything is potential. It's there and it's not there.
Oh, that thing gets into some Buddhist stuff where they say
Yes.
once you are separate from everything, you realize that the only thing is the constant flux.
Yes.
The constant shifting.
The constant flux. Yep.
And that is what, like, understanding your oneness with that is what they consider then being able to escape all suffering, escape all the worldly attachments, because you realize what you actually are, and that is achieving Buddhahood and becoming enlightened.
Yep. Recognizing that everything is constantly changing and everything has a relationship with everything else.
Imagine how differently you'd go about your day if you were not looking at things as like fitting in the same box as yesterday, but being able to expand and evolve constantly.
Wow. Yeah, we try to create this world so that things seem constant. That you can have this stability, but the beautiful thing is that it's not stable. Is that it is impermanent. That's where the joy comes from, for me at least.
Again, I wasn't straitjacket or anything like that, and I didn't have the same sort of addiction issues as other people and stuff. But I did feel that, having a certain level of self-awareness in life just makes you more honest, doesn't it? Because I think so many people they're not just not honest to other people, but they're not really honest to themselves, because there's bits of themselves that they that they don't really want to explore. And whenever they think about it, they go and have a cigarette, or they go and have a drink, or they go and have a bite of chocolate, or they open their phone.
We go to like numbing agents because right when you start to realize instability, you're like, no.
Is that what you're Is that what you're like? I think I kind of understand that. Maybe a little bit.
I don't know why that came out of me.
Wow,
But
that was, hey,
it felt right.
that's the stuff. It's scary, though.
Yeah.
It's scary when you realize that things aren't stable and you can't control things, because we try to control so many things. We try to dominate things. We try to dominate nature. We try to dominate other people. We try to be ambitious to the point where we're putting other people down so that we can control our own destiny. But everything's always changing, and we need to be open to
I
that.
think also when you start to face that change head on is when you start to be like, I am not powerful.
Yeah.
What is powerful? And I think that's when a relationship with spirit, at least for me personally, started to evolve, because it was like, I'm nothing. Power. It's interesting because you can think of yourself as like a powerful being in the sense that you are the one controlling everything, and you are like, as we were saying, like the dominator, the alpha. Or you can draw power from a completely different place of this is, I realize that I'm in this constant flux, and I am here for I have no idea why, but I keep getting these intuitions of what it is from this thing that I've developed a relationship with only because of recognizing that I am nothing.
And that's powerful.
Yes.
That's a different kind of power, but the one that we should be chasing.
And that's a drive that's not addicting. That's the interesting thing for me too, is that when you're on this power drive, you're like either doing something like alcohol, whatever, to suppress, and then you get addicted to that suppression, or you get addicted to the power and all these spikes. And it's interesting again because it's all about what Russell Brand's show is about. How he's like, I tried all these spikes, and it would just always lead me back to a crash. And that's what we're experiencing as a country and as a globe, when it comes to our relationship to nature
as people.
Holy.
Wow. Here we go.
Harmony with who you actually are, and it's obviously what I'm striving to do still, then you're not like, you can have a loving relationship with your children, your wife, your friends, your work, not a dependent relationship on, if I haven't got this, then I'm fucked. Like, so you better not leave me, or you better not treat me bad, because my sense of self is dependent on you treating me good. No,
I really do actually advocate time on your own. I think it's a really powerful catalyst, and it's something that so rarely anybody does, doesn't it? Who spends more than an hour on their own, really, apart from the time you're asleep? You spend so little time on your own, and if you do, the chances are that you're doing something else, aren't you? You're either driving, or you're listening to the radio, or
One like predominant female figure in my life would always say that she noticed that whenever she was listening to something or watching something or doing something when she was alone, it was because she was avoiding something.
Oh. Yeah, I think there's real power in stillness when you're alone, if you can find that. It's hard to. It's like, I feel like I'm lucky enough to, not a ton of times in my life, but a few times, like, been able to go so deep into stillness and meditation that I'm there for a few hours. And that will take you places that you do not know are possible. That's something that you can't achieve any other way.
And it's interesting because we don't value that experience as much in our culture.
It's not productive.
Yeah, it's not, you don't have an output.
Yeah. Not a physical output.
Yeah.
Could change your life for the better for the rest of your life, just doing that once a month, whatever. But it's not, you're not producing something physical.
We're also so focused constantly, especially like as a student, you're so focused on learning, absorbing as much as you can. So when you're in the car, you have like an hour free one day and you're like, what can I watch? What can I listen to? What can I read? And it's like this constant is also the whole idea of pulling yourself up into just your brain.
And you're not able to like synthesize that. You're just taking it in, but you're not able to work through it because you can't just learn something and know it in your whole body. You have to like learn something, process it through your whole body and through your mind, and let that give yourself space and time to do that.
Shoot.
I didn't have a lot of expectations for that, and that exceeded the lack of expectations that I had.
There we go.
That was a cool video.
That was really cool.
I like that a lot. That was
Yeah.
so interesting. Key takeaways?
Key takeaway for me was the idea that when we're faced with what we actually could be alone apart from everything else, that's very scary. And finding comfort in that, I think, is one of the largest things to then being able to pull power from a place not of dominance.
Yeah.
And I think when you pull power from a place that isn't dominance, you have far more power.
Yes.
Like, I think
Yes.
you have this infinite thing rather than this thing that is only based on when I'm scared, I become powerful.
And once you're secure with yourself and what you are, and in the fact that you aren't trying to control things and you're not trying to identify with external gratification, then that's a space where you can go out and give yourself to people and to things around you and find and grow those connections in a healthy way that's not dependent on them, but you're growing with them. I feel like that's a big takeaway that I got from the video.
Yes.
Wicked cool.
What were your biggest takeaways, eh? Do you like Russell Brand? You want to hear more from him?
Yeah, if you have any ideas of videos you want us to react to, toss them in the comments.
Yeah.
We are always
love it.
looking for cool stuff to react to.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, much love.
Much love.
Peace.